Okay, welcome to Mac Life. We are going to do, I am Eugene Robinson, senior editor at Mac Life magazine. We are going to do the world's fastest podcast. And because I'm a native New Yorker, I will try to slow it down for you. But otherwise, it'll be very quick. It's very simple to do, and so simple a child can do it, which accounts for why I am able to do it so easily. Let's go. We got the mic. We got the mic stand. It's a nice little Samson kit. It's the CO3U recording podcasting pack. I'm not sure that you really need this. It's a microphone. You have a microphone, you could plug in your microphone. You know, you've got the little stand thing that you could put on. I'm not even going to use that because I want to go quick and dirty. So, and I'm on the clock. It's a race against time. It's a nice USB thing. Plug it in to the laptop. And it depends on whether your podcast is just you talking, much like talk radio, or whether you actually have music. And in this instance, I do have a podcast that does have music, and we're going to do some intro music with this podcast. And I like to hold a microphone because I like to walk around the room and rant. And also, I'm using this primitive little PowerBook G4. Primitive, it's 4 or 5 years old at this point. But it has significant fan noise, which is funny because I bought it because it didn't have fan noise. The 15-inch was supposed to be the one that had the fan noise. But this is pretty cool, and it's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use it till the wheels fall off because I'm trying to save the planet, and I'm cheap and don't have the money. And so here we go. It's plugged in to get this stuff recorded. I go to online and download Audacity. You can see I've gone through the trouble here of doing so for you. We've got Audacity, and it's a pretty nice shareware, freeware program. You can do it through GarageBand if you like. I like Audacity because it's not so confusing like these other things. Very specifically, all I want to do with this is to get music interspersed with voice on it, and this does that quite well, I think. I know some people hate it. It's okay. So here we go. What I want to do is to have a show opener, like every single show that you've ever heard anywhere. And to do that, I go to, and you know, there are copyright issues with this music, but I think fair use is if you use it for less than, I'm no lawyer, but if you use it for less than 30 seconds, you're probably clear. So I'm going to import some audio, and I'm going to do that. It goes straight to your iTunes, and I'm going to import this song called All of Nothing by a New York band called Stigmata. I'm a fan of the heavy metal, so it's got a nice kind of Beethoven plangent beginning, launches into it, and still we're only now, what, 10 seconds, 15 seconds into our podcast, our grand podcast experiment. So here we go. It comes in, and it'll save it. And I know I don't want the whole song, and there are ways that you can do that so that you don't have the whole song. And I know actually I want a little bit beyond fair use, but since the first 30 up until here, it's all public domain classical music stuff, I'm actually technically, legally, I believe, in the clear. So I'm going to cut this off and get rid of it, just delete it like you would anything else, and I can start recording almost immediately with my, sorry, don't want to do that. I want to start at the beginning. You can hear it's not Beethoven's. I don't remember the symphony. So it starts, and I am now actually recording. And there are things that we can go into with the condenser pattern mic. You know, if you don't know anything, you can just leave it straight up and down. You'll be fine. If you switch stuff around, it'll sound kind of gamey maybe, but it won't be too bad. In any case, because it's all visual now, I can see where my show open really kicks in. So at this point in time, what I want to do is to begin to prepare myself. My cue point, it's coming up, and I want to welcome to, you know, wait for it, the world's fastest, wait for it, podcast. And the music starts, and it starts about now, the big stuff. I can talk over this, it'll still record. Presumably now at this point I could talk for another 45 minutes about widgets or gadgets, gigaws, tchotchkes, whatever my show happens to be about. I stop it. I can now export it as an AIFF. You know, I could do it as an MP3, but that requires you to have some software that I don't have, and which actually costs some money. Mix down to 2 stereo channels, which is what I want. Save it here on my desktop as an AIFF. And it's an extra step, but it can be done quickly and easily in iTunes, which is what I'm going to pull up next. Pull up the iTunes and let's get rid of this stuff. Drag it in. There you go. And sure enough, there it is. Now, my web guy requested I use it as an MP3, that I send him MP3s. Very simple. Once it's in iTunes, all I do is to convert selection to MP3, which takes a few seconds. And after it does so, I will have an MP3 file on my desktop that, using this handy dandy hard drive, I can take it to. I have to use a hard drive because my system is so packed with video footage, music, 10, 20,000 songs on it, that I'm maxed out on memory. So I've got to use this. I drag it to my, there you go, it is done. I drag it to my hard drive, and where's my MP3? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? It's in a folder. And so we've done it. We've got an MP3. We've used Fetch, which you can find free. Well, it's not free, I think. It's free for 30 days. It's one of those things. They're free for 90 days. You might want to pay the $12 for it. So fast, free, and cheap. You upload it. Your web guy, presuming that's not you, can put it on your whatever website of your choosing pretty quickly. And it sounds great, thanks to my Samson multi-pattern condenser microphone, and which you can use any cheap old thing. I use this because I'm a prima donna, but it sounds pretty slick. And you can do, if you want to do any editing, of course, you can go back to the application and do it in Audacity, or you can just enjoy listening to it like I am now. Hey, babe,